Oh.
It's an experiment.
They're light ups?
So. All right. So it's been a long time coming. Making these shoes, we've gone back and forth on a lot of prototypes, and this is the actual first time that I am seeing the final prototype. I know exactly what it looks like, but this is the first time I'm actually seeing it. So let's get it in frame and all right. 251.
Oh.
Is going to land.
Damn.
Just like this. So there's
those are very
the last
different.
bit of details. Yeah, the New York City tab has moved down.
Yeah.
The tongue now has the signature and the size.
Ooh.
That
Yeah.
also has like a Herschel vibe to it,
Yeah.
which has been in a
Yeah.
million of our videos.
Yeah, the patch. Yeah, exactly. We've evened out how much we do with leather and synthetic, but also this is, I don't know if you can. Yeah.
Ooh. Whoa.
This is the sole. Yeah, you didn't know it could come out, did you?
I did not know that.
You can take the sole out, and it's got this cool
Like a Dementor.
module inside, but also you get the Adams MKBHD logo collab on the back. 251. It's funny. I've seen every stage of the process, but now knowing that this is the final result is like pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually seeing
Proud
so,
dad moment.
Exactly. So I guess now it's time to make cool footage of them.
I don't know if it'll cut together well, but I kind of want to do like a eclipse kind of move to start off the thing where it's like it's all black and then the sole of the shoe like moves and then you see the light beam behind it. So it's like kind of, it's fully eclipsed and then it appears and it kind of blinds you, but you don't really know what you're seeing. And then it kind of starts off the rapid movement. But like I just kind of like starting off on full black and then all of a sudden, let's try and get the actual robot part of us figured out, which will be mounting this shoe to the end of that arm. And Andrew has figured out a quick release system that literally screws into a moment plate that he has screwed into the sole of the shoe.
Explain this contraption.
We did
Andrew.
a test. I did a test on this on one of our other shoes, and we found that essentially if we take this Moment cheese plate, now there's metal on it, so I had to drill through each of them. But if I put 4 screws into the cheese plate, into the sole of the shoe, I can take this, screw it into the cheese plate, and then we have a GDU quick release plate that can connect to that. So I saved it for the camera because how many times do we get to drill a screw into a shoe? Cheese plate, we took the sole out, so then ultimately we still can put the sole back in later and it won't look that messed up. But now we're just gonna shove some misprint microfibers we have in here just to keep the shoe filled out. Brandon said he wanted a shoe on the robot. I said, I got you.
I feel like we haven't really explained it, but like the idea behind a lot of this, usually here, like the camera's mounted at the end of the robot and it's like static product for the most part and moving camera. But we kind of compiled like a couple of like inspiration videos that we saw on the internet, where it was like a moving product on the robot and static camera. We're like, maybe we should try that for this product because like, you know, it's not our ordinary subject. It's not a phone. It's not a laptop. It's a shoe. That was lovely. Today, I think, is mainly just website montage. We're going to leave this so that we can shoot intro early next week since it's very similar. I almost see it as like when the move ends, it's still super slowly still landing down. Cool. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's just get focus. Save that because I want to do that exact same move again, but I want to move the camera, but let's get a clean plate first. That is the first shot of the day. See, personally, I think that was pretty sick.
Oh my God.
Murder.
We're pretty much wrapped. I think now we just got to take all of this and combine it in the edit and see if there's any like glaring holes. And if there are, then we'll reshoot. So yeah, so we'll see you in the editing process.
1 week later.
Welcome to week 3. At least I think it's week 3. We are like kind of in the home stretch at this point. We're kind of shooting the main video for the shoe release as well as studio video content, which you're watching right now. This is the part where we're integrating the intro, which we've been planning out for like probably more than 5 weeks at this point. And then we're going into this long one take that Marquez has to nail perfectly in one shot. Absolutely no pressure or anything. But I will show you guys sort of the robot room in its fullest stage right now. We're kind of replicating an older intro of sorts that you might remember. It was the ROG Phone 2 intro that sort of did this like swooping move over a whiteboard. And it was this construction process of like different ideas. So we thought, okay, what better project than recreating that again than a shoe that MKBHD has created? So that kind of brought up this idea of like a timeline of sorts. So we're starting very early phases 2020 of concept art for different types of designs for the shoe, goes through color swatches and pieces, 2021, 2022, 2023. You see different prototypes of shoes, you see materials, you see ideas, and then finally the camera lands on the final working shoe. And at the end of this move, you're gonna see a bit of choreography with Marquez picking up the shoe, the camera whips, and then here comes the fun part, because we have to, in one of these final whips, manage to hide a cut between that camera on the robot and a camera that is mounted on a Ronin. And then from there, once we hopefully successfully match that cut with this Ronin, we're going to back out of this room and follow Marquez all the way through this office and go from room to room to room and then finally to his desk and conclude our one shot. It's totally easy stuff. I'll show you guys sort of the move that we're working with so far. And then I also want you to take a look and see just how much clearance this camera has over some of these objects as it's flying through. It was a lot of trial and error, but I think it looks pretty cool, and I'll roll it for you now.
Zip up. Kind of moving. Dude, it's like pulling the gaff tape a little bit.
Literally. Andrew used the iPad and used the focus method too, right?
I actually didn't use focus on this because I didn't want to target track it because we wanted the focus to rack over all the items. So I just used a keyframe on the iPad to go starting frame up high, a middle frame, a final frame.
And if you don't know what we're talking about when it comes to an iPad, go watch that video right now.
Just to practice the move Brandon has to do, I took the back half of the move and just made it really slow. And then I can play it in a loop so Brandon can literally move with his arms to see what he has to replicate. So like if I just play it now.
This would be much more terrifying at 100% speed.
Yeah, it's at 25.
But yeah, basically it's like that tilt up and then you have to hug it in, and then I'm gonna land a little bit more forward than where the robot lands in reality, but finding a stance somewhere in here that I can literally just try and hold it and somewhat match halfway through that motion.
I mean, we could use the easy rig.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, even with the easy rig though, like this is probably 40 pounds. And like in theory, that's fine, but holding it out this far and then coming back to here, like your hands just don't want to make that kind of movement. And also I can't touch anything on the table.
We got it's called atmosphere aerosol, but it's basically haze in a can. And if you just spritz some out and let it sit, it'll make the whole room look smoky.
Walk in. Pick up. Can you go see where you're holding it? 3 inches higher. Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Was kind of late. So it was a little late. I think I also just I didn't want to start 3 seconds before is before you start walking. So that feels. I was worried about messing you up. Come in. 2,
Pick it up, pick it
1.
up.
Move. Yes.
Yep.
That one's better. It's
Yep.
maybe a little at the top, but also the soul is showing, and it looks like the cool Adam soul. I think that was.
I think it did it. I think it did it.
So let's cut that.
Yes.
Take a quick look at it, make sure we got it, and then get going.
Perfect. It's a cut. That's a cut. Cool. So on my back is about 40 pounds of camera right now. And this is the point where we're kind of going through the motions of what Marquez is going to say and walk through. And then to make 40 pounds a little bit easier, I'm wearing an easy rig, which is also known as the carrot suit. He's doing the most amount of work here, honestly, because he's pulling focus and also micro adjusting tilt and pan, monitoring while I basically keep a somewhat rough, similar distance to Marquez.
Sure.
Man, I can't believe we're actually finally here. I reviewed so many products for so long that it's come up over and over again. What if I could actually design my own product? That would be kind of sick, right? I'm finally holding the first thing. It's called M251. Why is it called 251, you might be asking? Good question, glad you asked. Well, that pretty much wraps it as far as the behind the scenes. This is fun shooting something that's not the typical subject.
I agree.
And we got to try some new things. Putting the subject on the robot was new. The match cut was fun. And sure. I think it all came together super nicely, and so that this is the part where you get to see us excited before it's out to the world, and when it's out to the world, it'll be even better. So
definitely the echo chamber effect, where it's it all makes sense to us at the moment, but it's not truly going to deliver until obviously you guys see it all. So
yeah,
I hope you enjoy what we made.
Go watch it. Go check it out. See you on the other side.
Bye.